Yeah, we'll continue discussion with the. So, if we look at the previous session, okay, we had discussed about the matplotlib, and I gave you the basic idea about how do we do the plot, right? So let me show you. Take up the same example, okay, and show you that how we can go and we can display um, a discrete version of the same plot, right? Let me import that library. Import matplot web dot pyplot as plt. Okay, so this will plot the import the numpy as well. Import numpy np. Okay, so here is that plot, discrete version. I'll just replace this plot with stem. Could see that it is like I'll just reduce the number of samples and I'll show you the difference. Okay, instead of up to 1.01, I'll just increase the step size 0.25, and you can see that clearly. The each sample, okay, has been plotted here discretely. Okay, the discrete, they are not connected. So each sample of the x-axis, that is your t, okay, against that whatever the y value has been plotted, and you are getting a discrete version of this plot, and this is called as stem plot, also called as discrete plot. Okay. Try this now. Once you complete it, please confirm it. Confirm the same. What are the other annotations we applied for the regular continuous plot? So all these are applicable to the stem also. Okay, completed, guys.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll move on to the next example case. Uh, Here we will take some random data and we'll try to plot the data. Okay, and we'll see the other options available in Matplotlib. I'll take that some values against x-axis. That is maybe like year or something like that. You can take it. Okay, you can say like I'll take it as age, that is equal to 40, 50, 45, 33, 45, okay, 32, 45. So these are the some ages, okay, of few peoples and corresponding weight. Okay. So age 80, 88, 100, 70. Okay, so again 90. Next again 68. Next we'll have 95. You can see. So here what actually it is showing is like people's having the age more than 40 will have the uh, their weight range above 80. Okay, so the people who are with the age less than 35 will be in the range of 60, 70, around 70. Okay, I have the details about few people here. Okay, so let us try to plot this and check the results. Okay, so this is weight of the males. Okay, and we'll take up weight female, the same age range. Okay, 70, 72, 80, 60, and 73, 62, 70. Okay, so I have total 3 data sets. Let us try to plot that. PLT dot plot. I want to do this both the plots. Okay, against age against the male and age against the female. Both I want to plot it. Okay, so how we are going to plot it? Okay, so the first x-axis will be your age. Okay, and y-axis will be weight. W-E-I-G weight. Okay, male. Then again you have to do the PLT dot plot. Okay, age, comma, weight, female. Then you apply PLT dot show. See, this is a plot of weight male and weight female. Okay. Here we are not able to see the clear picture. Okay, with this plot, continuous plot. Okay. So yes, you can change the type of the plot here if you want. Okay. But I'm just trying to show you how can use the PLT dot plot here. Okay, for doing the multiple plots. So this is the one option. Okay, the second option would be, okay, the second option of doing the plot will be like this. I will take this age comma weight female and I can write it here itself within this. Even that will also give me the same plot, no difference at all. Within the single plot function I can write multiple, I can have a multiple plots. Yes, please try this. Let us try to plot a stem plot and see what is the result. So this is about stem plot. Here also we don't have clear information. I'll give you some other alternate option for this. Okay, let us do a plt dot scatter of age, comma, weight, male. Okay, it shows the distribution here, and similarly I will apply female. You can see here now it is more better, right? Okay, for each age what are the different available values are available. Okay, the weights are available. So here this is showing better, far better. Okay, the age, so more samples are there with the age 45, right? So in my data I had 3 times the age 45. Okay, so I have exactly 3 samples here, 1 2 3 for female and 1 2 3 for the male version. Okay, similarly other ages 32.5, maybe one more is 33. Okay, so then 50, what are the values? So there now it is more clearly visible here. So that is by using the scatter plot. See, when we have a more samples, okay, so scatter plot will help us in understanding the, so clearly in which area the samples are like, so are spread across. Okay, that is scattered across, which will be very easily visible in the scatter plot. Okay, so that's why I've taken up a small data here. Okay, so like even you can try with a larger quantity of the data also for the same. So this is done. Okay, so we'll move on to the another exam, next case. See, I have the code here for sine wave. Okay, so let me take up that. Okay, so I'm not this, and so this is the part of the plot. Just removing this part of the information. Okay, yes, capital C is equal to NP dot cos of 2 star 3.142 star T. Okay, I have two signals, okay, to be plotted. So this is plotting one signal. Okay, let me make it PLOT. Okay, so before I do that display, I can plot one more plt dot plot of t comma c. So I have a one signal which is orange and one more which is blue color. Okay, so I'll remove these details which as of now I don't want. Okay, this way I can do the multiple plots. Okay, so this is one option which I already shown. Alternate option will be um, to type plt dot plot of t comma s comma t comma c, right? So this is the two plots we have. Okay, now in any case you want to change the color of the plot. Okay, and you want to play around with that options, you can do that. Okay, so let me show you few options which are available here. Okay, for that I'll go back to here and I'll write down the few options. Okay, let me choose the color for it. Color, I will take it as orange. Okay, and for this I will choose the color is equal to black. And you want to increase the line size. Okay, that is called as line width. I'll make it as 3. Okay, and for this I'll keep the line width is equal to 2. Then you have the option to choose the line style. Line style is equal to, okay, I'm mentioning it as dashed. Okay, I can mention the few other things like I can mention what is the marker style you need it. Okay, marker style I'm choosing it as star marker. What are these? Okay, so line color, line width, line style. Okay, marker. Okay, let us see the difference. What will happen? You can see here. This cosine wave is in black. Okay, and your sine wave is in orange color as per the requirement. Line style is dashed. You can see that they are not connected continuously as compared to the your cosine wave. Dashed means with a space it is connected, and it is having a star marker in between. Okay, so each sample, like 40 samples, have been marked with a star marker. Like this, many options are there which you can set it if you want. Okay, like you want to uh, label the signal as sine wave. Okay, you can mention it as sine. Okay, so I'm labeling this as cos. Okay, and see the difference. It's not displaying one. Yeah, I need to mention here plt dot legend. Yeah, sine and cos. Orange color one is sine and black color is cos. So legend will help us in applying the a label to a particular lines. When we have more than one lines, legend will be of more use. Even for single line also I can give the names. Any question guys from this? Please let me know. Update me if you have completed this portion of the code. Yes, completed. Shall we move on to next one? Okay. Here also you can put these options. Say example, um, instead of writing the options like with the whatever the options are there, like some options which can be written in a short form, like red. If I'm mentioning, it will be giving a red color to the first signal, and here I'm mentioning green. Okay, so the first signal is plotted with the red, second one with the green. Okay, can provide these options here also. Okay, I will plot this with a star marker. Okay, let us see. So you have a star marker. Line connectivity is currently null. These markers are not connected. Okay, if you want to connect them, you want to connect them with a colon operator. Okay, like dotted connectivity between the lines. Okay, so I written colon here. Okay, so like this, you can set multiple options to the your setting line styles. Okay, so within the plot function. So this is one way where you mention the properties and you set that property value. Alternate option is you can use this shortcut. Okay. So what are the styles and all available? So that you can check it in the as I mentioned, you can check it here. Okay. Shift tab 2 times you do it. It shows you all the properties of the plot function. Now I can see here. So what are the markers are available? Okay. So these are the line styles available, and these are the color shortcuts here. BGRCMYKW. I'll plot it with the magenta, that is M. Yeah, like this I can set the different colors, different options. Okay. Okay, moving on to the next example. So I'm taking the same data. So this time I'll show you the option to plot in a multiple axis. See guys here. Priyadarshini, can you come online? So Priyadarshini, see here, consider this as one axis. Okay, ಇದು one axis ಅಂತ consider ಮಾಡಿ. Okay, so now tell me how many axes are there. I divided here. How many axes are there? Two are there. Okay, arranged in a row format or a column. It is having two rows and only one column. That is vertically they are stacked, right? So I'll write here this as 1 and this as 2. So you have two rows and one column in that first one. Here two rows, two columns, sorry, 1 minute. Two rows, one column in that second one. Clear? What is the meaning of this 2 1 1 and 2 1 2? Okay, let me show you what will happen when I write like that. Subplot, okay, 211, then subplot 212, 212. You see, 1 minute. PLT dot, sorry, and PLT dot. Hmm. Can you see here? It has created me the two axes, one below that, one more. They are not separate figures. Within the one figure, you have two axes. Clear? Okay. Next. Rachna.
Yes, sir.
Now, Rachna, I'll ask you the reverse question. Consider I have this, and if I'm writing, okay, like this, 2, 2, 1. What is the meaning of this one?
Only one axis is there.
No, what is the meaning of 2 and 2?
Don't know, sir.
First row, what about this one? You had written like this, right? Earlier we wrote this, right? It will create two rows and one column.
One.
In that first axis, two rows, one column, two, second axis. So 2 into 1 means you will get only two axes only. In that first axis and second axis. What about here? 2 into 2 means how many axes you are going to get? 2 into 2.
Four.
4. Out of 4, so you are choosing the first axis.
One.
Yeah, it will be like this. So you are going to have 4 axes. In that this one is first, and this will be your second, third, and fourth. So you have to prefix it with 2 into 2. Okay. So that will give you the 4 axes required. You can create any number of axes. Okay. But 2 into 2 in means it will be arranged in a square format. Okay. So let us see what will happen with the next example. Here I'll write 2, 2, 1, and here I'll write 2, 2, 4. So here, one here and one more here. These two are empty. Why? You not selected the 2, 2, 2 and triple 2 and double 2, 3. You're not selected, right? So let us add them also. 223 PLT dot subplot 220. Okay. Subplot is a way of dividing an axis into multiple axes. Clear? Rachana?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Preetham? Preetham SP.
Yes, sir.
Preetham, now I'll ask you a question. Consider one axis is there. Okay. I written like this 1, 3, and 3. What is the meaning of this?
Sir, 3 axis, third part.
In that third axis, right?
3.
How the three axes are arranged?
In diagonal,
Hmm. Horizontal.
horizontal.
You have one axis here and one more axis here. right? So this is 1 3, only one row and 3 columns.
Okay, sir.
Clear? In that you are selecting this 1
Three,
3 and 3. So this is 1 3 2.
two,
This is 1 3 1.
one.
Okay. Hope everyone is clear with how we are dividing the axis using subplot. Anybody having doubt? Let me know. So what is the use of this dividing? Okay. So let's consider this previous example. I divided it. After that, what I'll do is I'll do the PLT dot plot of t comma s, and here I'll write PLT dot plot of t comma c. Okay. Two different plots in a one window. Clear? So that's the major usage of it. Okay. Here you're plotting everything in a only one window. Okay. So now I'm able to plot it in a two different axes. Yeah. Multiple axes using subplot. This is the major use of it. Whenever you have more than 2-3 different signals and you want to plot them in a single window, so this is the method you are going to use it, subplot. And not only for plotting the lines and all, it is also useful for plotting images, displaying images, and other sorts of signals also. Okay? Yes. Any questions? Please let me know. Okay, shall we move on to the next example? So here I am stopping this matplotlib. Okay, there are still many things. If you want, we can explore on matplotlib, but we will explore it with the suitable examples in the later sessions. Okay, along with the pandas, tomorrow we will see how we are going to use these plots and all. Okay, like plotting bar plot, then pie charts and all. We'll see it in the tomorrow session. Now I'll just introduce you to the pandas library. Okay. So let me show you the official website of pandas. Okay. So this is the pandas.pydot.org. This is the official website of the pandas. Okay. It is basically a data analysis library. Okay. So what you can do with pandas? Okay, you can analyze your data. Like if you have a data in raw formats, like okay, so data in several different formats, okay, like Excel, or also called as spreadsheets, okay, text data. 1 second. Excel sheets, documents, okay, JSON files, then H5, etc. files can be read, directly using pandas. Okay, so pandas will help us in reading the data available in the different formats, like spreadsheets, text file, Excel sheets, document, JSON. Okay, so JSON and .h5 are the file formats for storing the different kinds of data. Okay, like H5 is basically used to store the large multi-dimensional arrays and all. Okay, so JSON can have a different kinds of text information also. Okay, so when you want to read them, okay, for processing in the machine learning or deep learning areas, okay, so you need to read them first. Okay, there actually pandas will help as a beginning stage. Okay, then in the second stage, okay, it helps, okay, in understanding the data. Okay, it helps us in understanding the data with its functions. Like functions are there which will help us in understanding the data. Like it will display the, say example, you're reading an Excel sheet, it will help us in reading that Excel sheet and displaying that. Okay, so it gives us the several kinds of descriptions like statistical information, okay, data type information of each column. Okay, so then it shows missing values. Okay, it next stage, okay, it also helps to manipulate, okay, then filter out the data frames, data. Okay, so you can manipulate the data, like you can merge the data in the data sheet, okay, which you read it. Okay, you can delete the rows, you can add the columns. Okay, so those things you can do it. Okay, so as example, you want to do some kind of filtering based on certain conditions, you can do it. Okay, so joins, okay, so missing values are very important in data science. Okay, so one of the important concept, like where, like when you read when you collect the data, there are chances like, so we may forget, like we may not be having a some information about a particular row. Okay, in that case, okay, how do we going to handle it? Okay, so that's about missing values handling. Okay, so these can be directly done in the pandas library. Okay, so whenever we read the data from Excel sheets or text files, okay, using pandas, it is called as data frame. It is called as data frame. Okay, it has got its own class called as a data frame. So next, it also provides built-in plot, okay, which internally uses matplotlib, but we can directly plot the uh, pandas data using the pandas own plot function. Okay, but internally it is using matplotlib, but we need not to directly use the matplotlib here. And it is very useful for analyzing and exploring the data. Okay, so it is very useful for analyzing and exploring your data. Let us start reading an Excel sheet. Okay, so before that, as shown in the first class, I have this folder. Into that I copied this fuel consumption file. Okay, so you can double click and open it and check. So this file contains a data sheet, okay, Excel sheet, having information about the fuel consumption, okay, with like it is having a more than, like it is having more than 5,000 samples of information about the cars. Okay, so what are the information is available? Okay, which year the model has been produced, company made, the model, okay, which type of the model, okay, Aston Martin. Okay, if you're taking up, what is the model, DB9. Okay, so in that, what is the variant, whether it is compact or mini compact or subcompact, okay, two-seater, three-seater, engine size, okay, size of the engine, like in terms of liters, 1 liter, 2 liter, 1.5, 3, 4, okay, so on, okay. Number of cylinders, transmission type, okay, manual gear, automatic, okay. So they mention it. What is the fuel type? Okay. So Z indicates gasoline, D indicates diesel. Okay. So they have two, three different kinds of options. Okay. Fuel consumptions. Okay. 9.9 kilometer. Okay. So per liter or some gallon. Okay. So that information is available. Then fuel consumption in the highway. Okay. Fuel consumption in the city, fuel consumption in the highway, and fuel consumption, okay, in the combined, both combined. Okay, so then it has got the information about the fuel consumption combined miles per gallon. Okay, how many miles per gallon it's going to give. Okay, carbon dioxide emission. Okay, so based upon this, okay, so this is the actually end parameter. Okay, so it depends on all these parameters. Okay, so how it is related, like carbon dioxide emission is related to these parameter. Okay, so that's what we can explore it. Okay, little these things we'll do it in tomorrow session. Okay, anyways, I'll show you some of the brief introduction. Okay, how we can read this data into the pandas for doing such kind of analysis. Okay, so in order to do that, first I should understand the data. Okay, so what sorts of columns, or whether they are numerical values or integer, if it is numerical integer or float values, okay, or character values, what sorts of data it is and all. So we can see that. Okay, let us see how we can read it. So its file format is .csv. CSV indicates comma separated value file format. Okay, so first example, first of all, import the pandas library. Import pandas as pd. Okay, then in order to read any file, okay, so pd dot read, okay, is the file method, underscore csv, the file name, it is fuel consumption dot csv. That is the file format. Okay, let me check the file name. Fuel consumption, no spelling mistakes. Okay, if you make it, so you won't be able to read the file. Once it is read, let me store it into a variable called as df, that is equal to. Why I given this name is, okay, so if you check the data type of that file variable, okay, so I'm printing the df. Let me print type of df. It will show you at the end. Its class is pandas. Okay, pandas core dot frame, called as a data frame. Its file format is data frame. Okay, so I'm just use the name as df. You can take any variable of name of your choice. Okay, I'll take it as a data. So then I'm not going to print it. So printing will not give you complete all the columns in a one view. Okay, for that it is better suggested you write data. You can see here data dot head. It displays, okay, first 5 column information. Data dot head, it will display only the first 5 columns. Okay, model year, make, model, vehicle class, engine size, cylinders, and so on, all the parameters. So you're looking at a brief info about your data. Okay. Then data dot tail gives you the last 5 samples. That is bottom 5 samples. Ten, if it is indicated, bottom 10 samples it will print. See, data.info will provide us the complete information, like what is the integer, what is the int types, float types, string types information. String type is given as object here, int is given as int64, float values is given as float64. Okay, in this you have total float64 4, int64 as 4, total strings, that is called as objects, as 5. So and total memory usage. So like this complete information is available from the data.info. Similarly, if you type data.columns, okay, it returns the total, all the names here available. Okay, all the column names is returned to us. Okay, with which we can use the column names basically later on to access the particular content. Okay, I'll show you how in the later stage, like how this is basically useful. Okay. Next, you may have other informations are there, describe and all, like I'll show those methods in the next class. Okay, as of now we'll see how do we access the content of the data frame, how to access. Quickly I'll explain it. Okay, so one simple method I'll show you now, that is data dot, now column name is model year. Okay, model year is the column name. I'm just taking, okay, data of model year. So it gives that model year column information. Next, data of, okay. So now here data of, so here I'm taking makes. Let's try for the make. So it throws the error, okay, because it should be a same name. It is a case sensitive. Okay, now it is giving me that information, the make information. Okay. So now let me try one more. I'll start with the fuel type. Comma, I will go with the carbon dioxide emissions. Okay, so 1 minute. Okay. You can see here 1 minute. Fuel type, carbon dioxide emissions. Fuel type, comma, carbon dioxide emission. So two column information. So two multiple square brackets you can put up. Okay. So it gives you the multiple columns. Like that you can add as many columns you like to add it. So this is directly by using the header names. That is column names. So these are the column names. I'm directly passing the column names to the data, so I can easily access that content. Yes guys, try this now.